My next guest is the head of the Ministerial Enforcement Task Team on COVID-19 for the FCT, Mr. Ikharo Attah. Would like to speak to him on some of the challenges they face and how the enforcement is going so far. Mr. Attah, welcome to Hard Copy.
Oh, thank you very much. A wonderful time being with the Chinese family.
I've been on the field with you, at least sometime last week, and it's nice to see that you still look so well put together after spending so much time.
My grey hairs are increasing.
So how are you finding it, though? How is it going?
Yeah, it's very tough, extremely very tough here, particularly when sometimes you had to do some enforcement that you feel you shouldn't do, and you find that some persons are breaking the law stubbornly, and you find out that sometimes you just have the problem like going through a metamorphosis. At a certain point, you are enforcing people to stay at home. At a certain point, you find the uniform men breaking the law. At a certain point, you feel you need to lock market, reopen market, reschedule market. At a certain point, you find out that our brothers who want to come out to keep fit are all coming out in the crowd. The fields are all filled up. Everyone is playing football. At a certain point, you're called here, oh, that a mosque is meeting here. You rush there, the church is meeting. So you just remain on call all through.
Do you have directives exactly as to how to deal with people who fail to obey this order?
Well, the directive that we have from the FCT minister is to be as civil as possible, extremely very civil. When persons break the law, we tell them why they are breaking the law and the law that they are breaking, and subsequently the ones who we can turn back in face of vehicle, we turn them back. The ones who are a little bit disobedient with the laws that govern traffic violation, the ones that are within the police warden, the FRSC and the VIO, they use their own law to deal with this person here. But the sad part, which I think you must know, is that most of the people who break the law, most of them who break the law are persons who are law enforcement agents. They ought to be on the road enforcing the law, but they are mostly on the road as taxi drivers. We've seen very many of them, both in the army, the police, the Navy, the Air Force, the civil defense, the prison, the immigration. Most of them are on the road as taxi drivers.
And in this case, what do you do?
We arrest them. We arrested them and hand them over to their respective agencies.
Now, when I went on this tour, I keep emphasizing that because it was an opportunity for me to see firsthand how you handle this enforcement. Quite a lot has changed since then. I saw instances where the security men that were attached to us at the time whipped some persons who were seen outside their houses. Is that part of your mandate?
The ones we have, which you observe around the Mabuchi interchange, we are persons that we met them standing and gathering and clustering, and we went out. I was the first who came down, talked to them. You can't cluster. The purpose of this lockdown is not for you to leave your house, stroll down in 10, 15, 20s, please go home. And they were all foot dragging. And when I was begging them, you were filming me. And the next thing, the security guard had to come and say, hey guys, you need to go home. And they had to force them to go home because they were not willing to go home. They left their family, came cluster on the road as men. Men don't gossip, but when men gather to talk politics, whatever it is, and they force them to go home because they ought to be at home.
Have you gone to those satellite towns? It would seem that the enforcement is more carried out here in the city center and not the satellite towns. I'll give you an example. So I took a drive to the Nyanya area, and just before you step out of the FCT, you could clearly see that it's not really being enforced there. We also have clips. We've gone out as well to look out for some other areas, and areas like Zuba, Dede, Kubwa, and Kuje, exactly. It seems like the enforcement is not really being carried out in those areas.
Yeah, the enforcement is being carried out there, but the fundamental issue here is that most of them are organic settlement. Take, for instance, Mpape, for instance, an organic settlement. People live in clusters. They live in clusters. And most of them, they come out in the afternoon. Sometimes they also come out to actually just play around. Sometimes they come out to buy food. For Kuje, for instance, have a very extensive, let me call it now, town planning violation. The entire road stretch in Kuje, from the Peggy Junction to the Kuje market, to the Forest market, down to the prison junction, is all one expanse of informal market there. They all sell foodstuff. So when you go there, you find large people buying foods, and these foodstuffs are on the exemption list. Now, there was a misconception some time ago when the SGF had briefed that market will be opening from 10 to 2. Those are neighborhood market, but everyone ran to the press with that, and the next thing we saw persons gathering in large number. Even when the SGF...
Neighborhood markets in what sense?
Neighborhood market, that means markets that are around your area, close to you, not the kind of market that you will be driving to. It may be a big market, but the one around your neighborhood. If you are living somewhere at Gariki, you just go to Gariki market and you buy. If you are living somewhere at Metama, you go to the farmers market and you buy. Not the kind of market you will be running to with your cars and chucking the road.
You've been accused of religious bias.
Good.
There have been pictures and videos of you arresting pastors, shutting down churches.
Yeah.
There's been none of you shutting down mosques, and that's been the complaint from most people who have.
There have been videos. There have been videos of us shutting down mosques, and I think those who make that allegation were saying that I need to arrest a pastor, an imam, to balance up with the pastor, and that will not connect properly here. You know why I'm saying that? I'm a Christian. I thank God I'm a Christian, and when it comes from my own faith, it's something that I do explain over and over. If you understand, 2 Saturdays ago also, we went to a particular church at Jabi, precisely the Christ Embassy Church, where we met a big program going on. We dispersed them with no arrest at all. The next Sunday, we came back and we had 16 churches that we are violating. 15 of the churches were allowed to go scot-free because at the point of arrival, the pastors approached us, admits that, look, we were doing what was inappropriate, and we allowed the pastors, the members, to close and go. On this particular one case, the church was on, and I told the men and everyone to please remain calm, watch them, don't do anything violent. When they finished the worship, then we approached the pastor and asked him to come for explanation. We did that. After we finished all of that, we went to the police command, we discussed with him, and the next thing, we allowed him to go that very day. That very day in the evening, we went to the mosques. All the mosques in Abuja, all the mosques have all been closed. The mosques we are not going to, we are mosques in people's compound, in people's houses. The ones in Maitama, in Asukoro, in the Highbrow area, some prayer grounds in estate. When we got to those particular people's compound, we opened their gate, walked into their gate, and shut down the mosques in their houses. So when we get there, because they allow people to come in and join them, we shut down those ones, and that's the plain truth. It wasn't that there were many pictures, many videos streaming. The video of the Saturday when we stopped down the church program and allowed the members to go. The one of the Sunday when we stopped some churches, allowed them to go. But those persons picked only those 2 videos, put them side by side, and think that that other mosque was one big mosque. It's a man's house I entered. Into a man's compound. We opened his gate, entered into his compound, and stopped prayer that was going on because some persons had joined him in the prayer, and we asked them to please go back to their house. The fight against COVID-19 is not a religious war, and we must not paint it in that line. Be us Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, or whatever. Because why? The last Sunday and Saturday were tough for me. I got so many calls on Saturday that XYZ mosques we are all meeting. I entered into the mosque and I discovered it was only the imam calling prayer for all those who can hear him to go say their prayers. On Sunday morning, we went around, we got calls, particularly around Kubwa, that there were many churches meeting. The first church we went to was just a pastor and his wife streaming their service online. People thought because they could hear the noise, they called me, said, go and arrest them. I said, no, just the pastor and the wife. Let them be. I cannot arrest the pastor and the wife in a large hall. The second one we went to, some people saw 3 kids well dressed and said, for these 3 kids to be well dressed by the gate, people are hiding inside. We went in, just the pastor, the gate man, their wives and their children. We are all worshiping. You can't disperse them. They're not even up to 10.
Just before we leave, I've had people call me to ask me questions like, what are the streets like now? Can we move about? Are the security agencies on the agents on the street? Here's why they would ask me that question.
Yeah, because
because
you go out,
and I observe.
Give them first-hand information.
Another thing is this: I take drives once in a while to check the level of compliance as well, and I observe that I could find security agents at a particular point. By the time I'm returning, they're no longer there.
Yeah.
Or there are some areas where the enforcement is really low and people can do what they want to do. Is there a shortage of law enforcement agents?
No, I don't think there's a shortage, particularly when it involves the issue of roadblocks and check. Because
so you think you have enough personnel
we have enough personnel
to enforce this lockdown?
Sometimes we even had to ask our men sometimes to relax, because these are also human. We do night operation, we do it deep into the morning here. And when we have all of this process going, sometimes you get to a particular spot, you meet some persons there, and after maybe you're driving there about 2-3 hours, sometimes we can ask the officers, please stand down a little, you're not doing too much at that particular area. When we have for sure we have 3 persons in 3 pin down point at a particular stretch where we needed only 1, we can pull 2 out. We do that largely most times. Sometimes as well, we pull personnel out for deployment throughout the night. We change tactics as time goes on. We have enough personnel, but the truth about it be told, some persons don't want to stay at home. Some persons on the exemption list who have nothing doing in town want to abuse it. Some persons really don't just understand what we are doing. And some guys will always tell me, hey guy, I'm bored. I met a man at Asukoro, with due apology, a military man, who told me it was on a shot. I said, why are you here? He said, say guy, I'm tired. My kids want to kill me. The noise and everything, I'm having headache. So he drove out and parked at AYA and was just playing music, doing nothing.
I'd like to say a very big thank you for finding time to come speak with us, and I wish you well in enforcing this order, as difficult as it is.
Thank you for the hard questions.
Thank you
on
so
hard
much.
copy.
Well, that's been Hard Copy. Thanks so much for watching. Send feedback to the emails showing on your screen. I'm Terry Kumi. Bye.